Do some spicy new Bloomburrow legends mean it's finally time for Annie Joins Up to shine in Standard? That's what we're going to find out today. So here is our Annie Joins Up deck for Standard, and I'm pretty excited for this one because we played Annie Joins Up once before, right after it released in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, but this deck has gotten a ton of huge new additions in Bloomburrow. So Annie Joins Up, 4 mana, legendary enchantment. When it enters, 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Most importantly, it's a super Panharmonicon for legends. If we trigger an ability of a legend, we get to trigger it an additional time. So what are we doing with Annie Joins Up? Well, first, we're looking to ramp into it in our other big plays. We got Ruby Daring Tracker, legendary mana dork, Nissa Resurgent Animus. When we make a land, we get a mana. If we have Annie Joins Up, we get 2 mana. Eventually, it draws us some elves and elementals. And then Mira Trash Tactician might be my favorite ramp spell in the deck. It's actually a 3-drop that, once we get Annie Joins Up, can take over the game all by itself. So it's a 3 mana 2/4. At the beginning of our first main phase, we make a mana for each raccoon we control, which is always just going to be Mira. We don't have any other raccoons, so it makes a mana each turn. But if we have Annie Joins Up, it's 2 mana. And then when we spend 4 mana on spells, we gain 3 life, 6 life if we have Annie Joins Up. And then when we spend 8 mana on spells, we exile the top 2 cards of our library. We can play those until the end of our next turn. If we have Annie Joins Up, it's 4 cards. And this is a 3-drop that essentially snowballs into a victory once we have Annie Joins Up going. Because what happens is, we get 2 mana, we can use that mana to trigger the expend abilities. So we're going to end up gaining 6 life, and then we draw 4 cards. And then the next turn, we can use those cards to cast, to trigger expend, to draw more cards and gain more life. So eventually, Mira ends up being a 3-drop that every turn makes 2 mana, gains 6 life, and draws us 4 cards, which is kind of unbeatable. So what are we ramping into? We have 2 big Bloomburrow card advantage engines, and actually these are kind of our finishers too. Hugs Grizzly Guardian, comes down, draws us a bunch of cards, lets us make extra land drops, which works really well with Nissa and some of our other cards. Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest, probably my favorite card in this deck. When it enters or attacks, we exile the top X cards of our library, where X is the number of creatures that we control with power 4 or greater. We can play those cards until our next end step, and then if we don't play those cards, it deals 2 damage to each opponent for each card that's left in exile. So this can be, all by itself, a one-shot combo kill without attacking. If we can get a few big creatures on the battlefield and Annie Joins Up, we can play Dragonhawk, exile like 10 cards, choose not to play them, and just burn our opponent out of the game from 20. And even if we don't do that, it deals a bunch of damage, sticks around to draw even more cards. It's super good in the deck. The other plan for winning the game is legendary landfall synergy. So we got Lumra Bellow of the Woods, this 6-drop that when it enters, we get to mill 4 cards, reanimate all of our lands. If we have Annie Joins Up, we do it twice in Bristly Bill to put counters on things whenever our land ETBs, 2 counters if we have Annie Joins Up. So we can like Lumra with a Bristly Bill out, mill a bunch of cards, get a bunch of counters. Maybe we use Bristly Bill's ability to double up the counters and just smash our opponent for a ton of damage. Otherwise, Hajar to protect our team. Biza stabilizes against aggro, double triggers with Annie Joins Up. Roxanne, some ramp and some removal. Then we have Get Lost in Lightning Helix just to deal with our opponent's stuff. Mana Beast, Plaza Furo's really good in the deck because everything's legendary. Otherwise, pretty typical standard stuff. In the sideboard, a bunch more removal, some artifact destruction, Invasion of Gobakon for control, and that is Annie Joins Up for Bloomburrow Standard. That's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see what ridiculous things we can do with Annie Joins Up in some sweet new Bloomburrow legends. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. It is time to do some Annie Joins Upping? Some Annie Joins Upping. Let's go with that. Annie Joins Mulliganing. Well, okay. This we can keep. We can keep this. We will put one of our 2 Bristly Bills to the bottom. Hello, opponent. Copperline George. Go. Opponent. Orzave. Well, Razorword Circuit. Go. I think it's better to hold onto the Bristly Bill because of Cut Down. Next turn we can, if our opponent doesn't leave mana up, which they're not going to because we're going to kill the bat. So now we can Bristly Bill, immediately put a counter on it, get it outside of cut down range at least. Opponent might actually just be bats. Orzhov, I mean, they could be a mid-range deck too, but ooh, there's Dragonhawker. Well, play the Bristly Bill. Play the Forest. Grow the Bristly Bill. Could use another red source for this Dragonhawk. I want to get the Dragonhawk one shot. I don't know how realistic it is. To kill with a single Dragonhawk trigger, we need 5 total creatures power 4 or greater and Annie Joins Up. Opponent. Oh, well, didn't play around that one. Do we just pass? Do we play the Annie Joins Up? Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna pass. We could run out the Annie Joins Up, but it seems a little weird to waste it. They're gonna play something at some point, right? The problem is they could draw discard, then we kind of get wrecked for it. Opponent, Virtue of Loyalty. All right, that's gonna be a problem. All right, red mana. Opponent, even more Virtue of Loyalties. I mean, I guess we might as well keep cracking, although we are going to kill it. Well, there's the red mana. Yeah, Annie Joins Up. Snipe the token, play the land. Kind of want to draw another land, and then we can Hugs X2 and draw 4 with the Annie Joins Up. That would be the best. All these virtues going to be a problem at some point. Aclazotz. Ooh, okay. We can do this. This is probably even better, actually. Roxanne, double trigger, Meteorites X2, snipe the Aclazotz, get it out of here. I mean, it'll come back eventually, but for now our opponent really needs to kill this Roxanne, because if they don't kill this Roxanne, it makes 2 Meteorites every... Wow, okay. Just runs out the Virtue. Go to combat, get in with the Roxanne. 2 Meteorites. Hit ya. Opponent goes to 14. So if we double Dragonhawk, we deal 8. I think we just go Hugs X3. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. These tap for double. I forgot about that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hugs X5. Wait, we have even more mana than that? What is happening? How do we have so much mana? So draw a ton of cards, play a land, play a Nissa, Fabled Passage, double trigger, red, and opponent skips it up. But how do we have that much mana? I'm so confused. Was that a bug? Shouldn't we have had 9 mana there? What am I missing? Well, I mean, it's not something we're going to complain about, because that was good for us. So opponent's playing Orzhov mid-range control. We're definitely bringing in these Lorens, because we saw a lot of virtues. Invasion of Gabakon could be worth it. Get Lost, probably better than the Helixes. Go down Ibiza, go down Lumra. Maybe one Nissa? Do we want invasions? Do we want Luca's? Luca could also be fine. Pick your poisons also probably fine adjacent. It's at least okay. Let's just try it like that. I feel like if they're going to have Wraths, they're probably going to be Sunfalls, and then Invasion of Gabakon's kind of meh against them anyway. Well, that was a pretty good game. Annie Joins Up can really pop off once it gets going. All right, we're going to try this. All right, we hit another land, which is nice. This bat is going to be annoying because it takes our only removal spell for now, but... Ooh, no bat. Okay, that's good. Opponent. I've been very impressed with Mira. Somewhat impressed with Hugs, too. Hugs doesn't seem bad. Plains for opponent. Gonna keep passing. Well, let's play a Mountain. Yeah, let's just play Hajar. Maybe it eats a removal spell. We'd rather have the Mira lived if we have a choice. Mira with Annie Joins Up so good. Opponent. All right, that's fine. So Hajar down, but we got to go for the throw it out of our opponent's hand. So that's kind of a win. And Sheoldred. That's fine. We'll just take it and then kill it with Annie Joins Up. Kind of painfully. So many pain lands. Well, Sheoldred down. Some non-pain lands would be fine. Fountainport and Zoraline. Nothing to get back though, thankfully. Ouch. Battlefield Forge. Get lost to Zoraline. Gain 6. Mapia. And then hopefully next turn we can... Oh... Wow, that's actually super bad for us. That's actually super bad for us. We had plans for this Hugs, but this Doorkeeper Thrall is going to ruin our day. Oh yeah, that's really bad. Well, trigger. Add red, add green. Fabled Passage. Crack it. Oh, we're gonna waste this Hug so bad. Get a land, which will be probably just a forest? Yeah, let's get a forest. Yeah, this is a bummer, but Hugs X4. We're basically doing this just to trigger the Mira, because we can't actually draw with Hugs, but we do get to exile 4 cards with Mira, which we can play until next turn, because Hugs is pretty good, and then we get to play a land, and we get to play, we get to pass the turn. Yeah, Mira's actually, like, very strong. Hostile Investigator doesn't trigger because of the you might have played yourself a little bit about it. Cracks out the Doorkeeper Throw, Harvester of Miseries. That also doesn't trigger. Nothing triggers thanks to you, opponent. Ooh, Bristly Bill. Well, we get to add some mana. Man, Mira's so good. Green red. So we can, what does this say? Artifacts and creatures entering don't cause abilities to trigger. Play Dragonhawker. Play Dragonhawker. Gain some life with the Mira. Get in with the Hugs. Opponent's gonna trade. And then we will play a second Hugs. X0. Mira. Draw 4 more cards for next turn. Ooh, there's a Get Lost. Okay, that opens things up a bit. Razorverge Thicket. Plaza of Heroes. Go. This has been very impressive. Preacher of the Schism. Sure. Looking at the Dragonhawker. I mean, once the Doorkeeper throws down, our opponent's just gonna dot. Wow. 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 All right. So that Doorkeeper throw was kind of annoying, but in the end, it didn't matter because of Mira. Our opponent couldn't kill the Mira, and with Annie Joins Up, it's just drawing... It's sitting out. Okay, this card is absurd. It's sitting out. It's making 2 mana each turn, which is already great for a 3-drop. But then it's drawing us 4 cards each turn. Those cards we cast the next turn to expend to keep it going. And it's also giving us 6 life each turn. That sounds like the greatest 3-drop in the history of Magic. Like 2 mana, 6 life, 4 cards a turn. I mean, I guess you gotta... I mean, it's also partly because Annie Joins Up, but... Our opponent's playing like one of the best decks in Standard too, and could not stop the Raccoon, who apparently thinks he's Wolverine or something, but still, that's neither here nor there. That was a really sweet game. It is time for some legendary Panharmoniconing, doing some Annie Joins Upping in Bloomburrow Standard, and this end looks fine. I mean, we got the Annie Joins Up. We can ramp into it. We do not have any big payoffs for it yet, but hopefully they will come. See what our opponent's up to. Orzave. Well, there's a payoff. Well, let's play the Ruby. Ruby, Ruby, Roo. Get in for 1. Hit ya down to 19. Opponent might be a discard deck. I guess it could be control. Could be mid-range. I guess at this point, we don't know. We don't know what a single Restless Fortress means. Cavern on Battle. I got an idea now. They might be bats. Play Plaza of Heroes. I don't even think we play the Annie Joins Up. I think we'd rather wait. Like, if they're a bat deck, they're going to play a creature. Wow, they're just going to temporarily lock down the Ruby. All right. Maybe they're not a... I don't know what our opponent's doing. Well, Ruby down. Sure. We will play more Rubies. And Inspiring Vantage. Actually, you know what? Let's not attack. We might want to get lost this time. It's possible. Found it. Shadowy Backstreet. I mean... It's actually very interesting. Opponent passes. Do we just Lumra, or do we try to Annie Joins Up first? Well, let's Fable Passage. Let's crack Fable Passage. I think we're just gonna Lumra. Get down the Lumra, do some ramping. Mountain. And Lumra. So we know we're getting at least 1 land. All right, 2 lands. Mill the Hugs and a Dragonhawker that we kind of wanted to draw, but... Oh, opponent's Esper Control. Oh... All right, well, that's awkward. Deadly Cover-Up. 1, 2, 3. Play Nissa. Fable Passage. Trigger Nissa, make red. Crack Fable Passage. Get a Plains. Trigger Nissa, make white. And now I think we actually do just play the Annie Joins Up, even though there's no target. Pass the turn. Yeah, I don't know how Control's gonna go. This might be tough. Oh, they also have Heaped Harvest? Maybe this is... Oh, this has got to be like the 5-color domain Niv control deck. Even more deadly cover-ups. All right, life's looking bad. Hopefully they don't take the Dragonhawker. right, opponent's gonna take the Nissa, interesting. So they get a Nissa from our hand, although this Nissa isn't really that essential at this point. We need one of our big threats. Hugs would be our best draw. Another Annie Joins Up. Well, let's crack this within the deck since there's no more Nissas. Grab our last basic. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. All right, well, I mean, we're gonna play it. Mill some cards. Twice. Get back some lands. Oh boy, we are milling a lot of our good cards, unfortunately. That is awkward. We keep milling the cards we want to draw. I mean, they've also had multiple Wraths, which is gonna be rough. If they're somehow out of removal, that would be sweet. Yeah, I kind of wish we hit more. Seriously? All right, found it. Deadly Cover-Up 3 in a row. We draw another Annie Joins Up that doesn't really do anything. Well, I mean, I guess it's time to pass the turn. Yeah, this is not looking great. They also had 3 Deadly Cover-Ups in hand, so there's... I mean, what can you do about that? Found it. Gonna do some ramping. Gets land and passes. We draw more lands. Well, play the land past the turn. Opponent. Gonna crack to gain some life and get a land. So in the sideboard, we have the Invasion of Gabacons, which hopefully are good here. I mean, Hajar is also good against Endless Wraths. I think this is partly just an odd draw for our opponent. They kind of had the 4 Wrath draw. Opponent plays an Aclazotz. Passes. Well, there's the Hajar. There are times when that would have been very good. Well, let's play an Annie Joins Up. Kill the Aclazotz. I don't even think we want to play the Hajar here, honestly. It just doesn't do anything. Bonnet land. We definitely need a payoff. That's what we're missing, is a payoff of some kind. Opponent's going to play a Visa. Doesn't do much, right? And passes. All right, well, Annie Joins Up, kill the Visa. We don't want to just draw only Annie Joins Up. We would prefer to draw some legends to go with an Annie Joins Up. So this has been a very weird game. We have literally drawn every Annie Joins Up. Our opponent's drawn essentially every Wrath. Opponent's gonna second clue to draw a card. I still feel like we're like a draw away from good things happening. We need to draw a Hugs, we need to draw a Dragonhawk, something like that. Gonna get in for 3 with the Restless Fortress. Passes. We managed to draw more lands. About it. Untaps and draws. More Surveillance. The problem is eventually our opponent's gonna draw some sort of finisher. Mills a temporary lockdown. Gonna fire up their creature land. Sure, we'll just take it again this turn. Sooner or later, we will draw something. I have faith. I have faith, even though we milled a lot of the things we wanted. All right, there's a Hugs. Fine. Oh, they could have a counter. Watch them have a counter. Green, green. Red, red. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's go X3. So Hugs. Trigger, trigger. So we get to draw 6. We do got to be a little cautious of milling out. All right. Finally some action. And we get to play them until the end of next turn. Play a Plaza of Heroes. Play Hajar from Exile. Brushland is our extra land. Opponent. We might as well sack it. Doesn't do much, but technically correct. I mean, we still have the Plaza that we can use. Opponent's looking at the Hugs. I mean, opponent is down to 2 cards in hand, and they have used a lot of Wraths, so odds of them Wrathing again are not super high. And we got this Dragonhawker coming. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna save the Hugs, attempt to. I don't know why your opponent keeps looking at their great. Oh, Urgent Necropsy. All right, opponent. Blows them both up. Deadly Cover-Up. We only have 17 cards in our deck. That is the current issue. Also worth mentioning, they can't exile the cards that we have in exile here. That is thankfully not part of Deadly Cover-Up. Well, I assume that we have gotten through all the Wraths, because our opponent has literally cast 4 Deadly Cover-Ups. So the odds that we have gone through all the Wraths seem relatively high. Opponent is going to take Roxanne, only a 1-of, so doesn't actually do anything. Save us, Dragonhawker. You are our only hope. What are you going to do with that last card? What are you going to do with that last card, opponent? Wow, okay. Discards to flip Tyrion's Journal. So now they can cast a creature spell from their graveyard with a finality counter by tapping it. So they have Biza Armadillo. Well, we untap. We draw Get Lost. Mira. Dragonhawker. Double trigger Mira. Gain some life. Exile a couple cards. Exile another card. We can still use Plaza, so Bristly Bill, hit ya, down to 23. We might still be good. If we went through 4 Wraths against the control deck, that would be incredibly impressive. Opponent, Tomb of Ecclesats. I'm gonna replay a creature. So it's pretty much a fully powered Biza, sure. They can also flip Ecclesats at some point. The only question is, can we win before we mill out? Opponent, Heaped Harvest. That is the one concern. We definitely can't play this Lumra. All right, opponent, gonna get back the Bat God. The funny thing here is we actually want to draw land to trigger this Bristly Bill. All right, opponent passes. Plaza of Heroes is not bad. So we get to make a mana. We'll make red. Annie joins up. Plaza of Heroes. Double trigger. Play Hajar. Dragonhawk X2. Okay, Mira and Mira. All right, there's all the Miras. 10 cards left in the deck. And sack to gain a little life. Sure. Yep. So opponent, down to 19. Pass the turn. Hit you for 4. Upkeep. Kill the Ecclesats. We didn't want to trigger the Hajar there. I think triggering Hajar is actually a negative because we're battling against the fact there's only 10 cards left in our deck at this point. So we're trying to close out this game without milling out. We have layers of protection now, though, with this Hajar and these Plazas. Gonna cast something from the graveyard. It's gonna be an Armadillo. Sure. It does have reach, which is kind of awkward. Okay. Top card is a Go for the Throat. Mills it. We draw Biza. Well, let's Get Lost. The Armadillo. Pay the ward. Get in with the Dragonhawk. Exile. Opponent. Well, we will double the counters. Kill it. All right, let's play the Plaza. I think it's worth it. Play the Plaza. Trigger. Grow the Mira. Grow the Bristly Bill. Pass the turn. Hit ya. Down to 13. Oh, we're either just gonna make it or just not make it. So I can play the Armadillo from the graveyard with the Tyrion's Journal. We have removal pretty much covered. Draw a card, create a food. Sure. Gonna recast the Armadillo. Yep. And gonna grow the fish. Okay. The question is, can we win this turn? That is the question. And I'm not sure of the answer. Land. They can also crack a food, so they can go up to 16. If we could kill this Armadillo, then we'd definitely be good. Oh, if it wasn't for the fact we're running out of cards, I think we're like incredibly likely to win if we don't run out of cards in our library. If it wasn't for the fact we're almost out of cards, we'd be in really good shape. Opponent, Hostile Investigator, sure. I'm gonna mill it. So if we double the counters, we're gonna exile our deck next turn. That's gonna hit for 12. We attack with everything else. Our opponent has 2 lands, they can go to 16. They can't fire up that. All right, let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, I think we gotta wait one more turn. All right, so we can do it during our turn if we want to. We don't wanna go shields down, so let's draw. We hit an Inspiring Vantage. We make a couple mana. Green and green. Inspiring Vantage. Trigger. Counter. 1. Double the counters. Okay, so there's a removal spell. 1, 2, 3. Save the Dragonhawk. Attack with everything. Trigger. Exile our deck. Let's see what our opponent... I mean, I think this works, right? They can crack the food. Sure, they're out of mana. That's fine. Opponent blocks. Because we have 12 damage from the Dragonhawk with the Annie Joins Up. Opponent blocks and blocks. I mean, Bristly Bill ya. And hit ya. Pass the turn. End of turn. The rest of the deck goes in the graveyard. And... wow. 4 Ras. Actually, if you count the temporary lockdown, 5 Ras. Our opponent drew every deadly cover-up. Every single one. And we still got there. We almost milled ourselves out with Lumra. But in the end, it didn't actually matter. Invasion of Goblicons. Definitely coming in. Lauren of the Third Path. Do we want Lauren? We did see that silly Tarian's Journal kind of do some work to keep our opponent alive. We can go down the Lightning Helixes, I think. Go down 1 Lumra. Go down a Biza for a Lauren. Maybe we just run it like that. The Get Lost? Do we want the Get Lost? We do need to deal with the Bat God. I actually think Mira might be really good. Mira, haven't really played, we'll try it like this. I haven't really played much with Mira, but it actually seems very powerful, even without other raccoons in the deck. Just as a standalone, like, the life gain's good, the card draw is really good. Not a fast hand by any stretch. Although, it's not a fast matchup, really. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll keep it. Underground Mortuary, Mills of Cavern. Ooh, more lands. Okay, that's what we didn't want to see. We did not want to see even more lands off the top, but opponent. We want to hold on to the Fabled Passage for... oh, come on, deck. Well, let's play the Plaza. I swear, if you keep a 5-lander, your odds of drawing 2 more lands in a row are incredibly high. Opponent, Heaped Harvest. At least, I mean, I'm sure it's not actually true, but it feels that way. Now, there's an Annie Joins Up. Let's play a Battlefield Fjorge and pass the turn. Opponent passes. Play a... oh, it's gonna die, right? Let's play a Nissa. Fabled Passage. Mana. Crack Fabled Passage. Do they have the removal? Ooh, no, all right. Mountain. Our opponent might just be setting us up for a Wrath here. That is also possible. We get another Nissa. We play the Mira. Well, I mean, that wasn't bad. 2 3-drops on turn 4. Pretty good. Opponent grabs a Schwamp. What is their payoff? Are they in a Troxa deck? We didn't see a Troxa last game. I mean, Armadillo's fine, but it's not that frightening. Deadly cover-up. Gonna wrath the board, get rid of the Nissas. Nissa's down. We draw another Plaza. Opponent Plains passes. Well, let's Plaza of Heroes. Roxanne. Meteorite ya. Down to 24. Opponent Swamp. Virtue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That might be a problem eventually. Opponent fires up the Fortress. Gonna get in, hit us. Oh, even more Plazas. We have drawn so many Plaza of Heroes. I'll play a Bristly Bill. Play Carpoosin for us. Put a counter on Bristly Bill. Pass the turn. Opponent, land. And there's the Virtue. You know, that is a problem. Okay, so I guess we should have brought in more answers, apparently. What can I get back? Roxanne, Mira. Both of those are kind of bad for us. Well, play Plaza of Heroes. We need to find some sort of answer to this Virtue, and we need to do it relatively quickly. Found it. Gonna start reanimating. Gonna take Roxanne. Hits us down to 15. Well, if we lose this one, we're definitely gonna sideboard with this Virtue in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can't double without risking losing it. Well, there's Invasion of Goblicon. Perhaps slightly late. Let's see. So let's Invasion. See what our opponent has in hand. Outrageous. What is this deck? All right, opponent. Outrageous Robbery for 7. Well, that is pretty bad. We will take a Terra Sunder. We will play Annie Joins Up. Kill our Roxanne that our opponent stole. Plaza of Heroes. Double trigger the Bristly Bill. Grow it. But I think that Outrageous Robbery gets us. Our opponent just drew a new hand from our deck, and they have a Virtue going. Our deck is not very well set up to to answer an outrageous robbery. That is one of the downsides of being a Naya deck, is we just, I mean, I guess we have technically the Invasion of Gabakon, but we can't really interact on the stack. So if our opponent's trying to win with big spells like that, just not the right color combination to be able to answer it. Opponent going to get lost the Bristly Bill. I mean, I think this game's just over now. Yeah, I think we're just gonna concede. There's no way we're actually gonna come back from this point. Opponent just has too many cards. So get lost coming in. And I guess more Lawrence. Outrageous robbery. Is there really just nothing we can do about outrageous robbery? Kind of feels like there's nothing we can do about outrageous robbery, which is outrageous. Maybe like a Roxanne, maybe one Nissa and a Bristly Bill. Let's try it like that. I mean, I think we're gonna have to be, I guess, aggressive. I guess the way we deal with outrageous robbery is player removal. We need to be able to kill our opponent before they get like 9 mana or whatever on the battlefield. Easier said than done, considering our opponent's playing infinite Wraths and a bunch of Ram spells. So I don't know if that's actually a realistic plan, especially since it's not like we're some super dedicated aggro deck. I feel like this is the kind of hand where we never draw another land. Last game we drew all the lands. This game, I mean, the get lost are okay. Yeah, I think we have to mulligan this, honestly. We just don't have enough mana. All right. I mean, this will try, although it feels more okay than great. Land go. Surveil land. Meal's a temporary lockdown. Well, let's play the Hajar. Pass the turn. I mean, Hajar's kind of aggro if it lives somehow. Opponent leaves it to the top, sadly. Play the land, play the Mira, and pass the turn. Opponent's down to 17. Restless Fortress. Well, we untap. We get a mana from the Mira. Play Nissa. Fabled Passage. Trigger. Make green. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab 8 Plains. Trigger. Make red. Find a Lumra. Play Ruby. Gain some life. Down to 11. Pass the turn. Hold. Hold. And Biza. That is annoying. Okay. We would like to draw land here. Actually, I guess we don't even technically need a land. Ooh, Lauren. Lumra. Gain some life. Mill 1 land. Oh, 2 lands. Okay, trigger, trigger. Green, red. And pass. I mean, they can't just Wrath us, right? Because we have the Hajar. Unless they have Sunfalls that we haven't seen yet. But they can't just deadly cover up us, at least. That's a bit of good news. That's a bit of good news. Found it. Untap. Ooh, Hugs is sweet. All right, so we will add a red. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab a forest. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab a mountain. Add a green. Find a Lumra. So we do want to trigger Mira. The question is if we can leave up... Well, you know what? We're just going to... I think we just go all the way. So green, green, red, blah, blah. Can we leave up Plaza? So we do get an extra land drop. But we need to go X. Yeah, we can't really. We haven't played any lands though, right? Yeah, let's do it this. Can we? So we want to trigger the Mira. So that's 8 mana. I think this works. So let's go Hugs. X4. Expend, expend. Trigger Mira. Trigger Mira. Find a couple of lands. Hugs. Ooh, there's a Get Lost too. Battlefield Forge. Trigger Nissa. Razorverge Thicket. Trigger Nissa. Make white. Kill the Biza. So our opponent needs removal on Hajar into a Wrath. If they have that, they probably win. And it looks like they might. Looking at the Hajar. Hitting that tap land was rough, so we couldn't leave up the Plaza of Heroes. Urgent Necropsy. Sure. Well, we gotta sack the Hajar. But now our opponent can untap and cast their Wrath. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to rebuild enough. Our opponent's still at 15. I mean, we have some cards in exile, which does help. All right, opponent, there's a deadly cover-up. Well, let's see if we can rebuild. Opponent going to exile the Lumra. Okay. Well, we draw a card. It's a Copperline Gorge. Opponent. Well, we will play Bristly Bill. So we play Bristly Bill. We play Ruby. We play Hajar. Play Copperline Gorge. Counter on Hajar. Get in with Ruby. Down to 12 past the turn. We're gonna wait on the Mira. We can trigger it next turn. We don't want to overextend. Our opponent's very good at drawing deadly cover-up, so we don't want to just keep extending into every deadly cover-up. Opponent. Temporary lockdown. All right, this is kind of okay, though. They don't know about this Get Lost. They don't know about this Get Lost, which means we just get to get our entire board back on their end step, which is huge. Opponent Island. Sure. I don't know if this makes us win exactly, but it is pretty good. So the opponent gets a land. End of turn. Get Lost to lockdown. Get back our board. Untap. So we play Mira. We play Lauren of the Third Path. Gain some life. Blow up the Harvest. Play Nissa. Trigger Mira. Expend. Kind of whiff. But we do get to hit you. Down to 6. This is the turn. Poto's got 2 cards in hand. We have the Hajar. Did we overcome the control deck? This might be Raccoons winning the game. Opponent looking at the Hajar. Now the Wrath is kind of offline, right? You can't kill Hajar and Wrath in the same turn. You got to kill it over the course of 2 turns. Because if they try to, we just sack it in response. So a deadly cover-up does not get us here. A Sunfall. We haven't seen Sunfall, though. We haven't seen a Sunfall. We've seen deadly cover-ups for days. I guess a lockdown's okay, but even that, an opponent, GG. 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 Wow. Okay. Okay. Raccoon power. Mira might be a real card. That was very impressive. My goodness. I think Mira, why do people not play this card? Mira's been very, very impressive. I mean, Annie Joins Up's been impressive too. That was a wild match. Wild match. Seeing if we can double up some some crazy legendary triggers. And this hand's fine. I mean, double Hajar, a little awkward because they're legendary, but apparently we're going to get batted anyway. Opponent thinking. All right, takes a Nissa. Oh, play the land. Play the Hajar. And pass the turn. Gonna need to hit another land at some point. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down to 19. And a Swamp. And a Preacher of the Schism. Opponent passes. Well, that is a land. So let's play Bristly Bill. And Copperline Gorge. I think we just put it on the Hajar in attack. If our opponent trades with the Preacher, that's fine. If they don't trade with the Preacher, we got our opponent low enough that they at least don't get to draw with the Preacher this turn. Could really use an Annie Joins Up here. That would actually be the best draw. Opponent attacks with both. So next turn we can Nissa land Hajar if we need to. All right, so we're gonna sack the Hajar. And all right, opponent's gonna use a Virtue, kill it anyway. We get to play a Nissa and play the land and play Hajar and pass the turn. Although this Preacher of the Schism is a problem since we haven't drawn any removals. Now it's gonna start drawing cards. Opponent goes attacking. Well, I mean, we're just gonna take it for now and play Lumra and hope that Lumra is enough here. We'll see. Opponent land and passes. Well, brush land. Add a green. Lumra. Mill some cards. All right, we'll sack the Hajar. Save the Lumra. Hopefully we hit a land. Okay, we hit at least 1 land. We hit 2 lands. So we get to trigger our Nissa, add a red. Okay, we find another Nissa, add a green. Can't really do anything with it, but get in with the Nissa. Opponent takes it down to 16. Man, if we could only deal with this Preacher of the Schism, we'd be in kind of a good spot. Opponent, gonna learn about reach. Either gonna have drawn another removal spell or learn about reach. Block the bat. Ooh, all right, opponent. The sneaky reach on the bear. Opponent plays a land and passes. Well, let's play Brushland. Make a mana. Is this working? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's play Dragonhawk. We still have Plaza up to protect. Trigger. Double Biza. The tide may have turned. Opponent's gonna block. Opponent's gonna drop to 8. And I think we just let the Bizas go and hit our opponent down to 5. And now they're dead on board to the Dragonhawk, and we have Plaza of Heroes up. We didn't draw the Annie Joins Up, but apparently Lumra is pretty good. Apparently Lumra is good enough. The sneaky reach. Wow. Mono black is so good right now too. I mean, I guess our opponent could have a Wrath. Insatiable Avarice to draw some cards. Desperation down to 2. I mean, with this Plaza of Heroes, I don't know how they get out of it. Opponent combat attacks. I mean, we're just gonna take it. Sure. No blocks. Down to 9. Virtue on the Nissa. Does this keep our opponent alive? They gain 2 life. No. All right, sure. I mean, we have a million Nissas in hand and a Deep Cavern Bat. That does technically actually keep our opponent alive, awkwardly. Opponent found a line, takes one of the Nissas. We untap. Swing with both. Exile. Opponent does have to chump with the bat, or else they just die to the Dragonhawker bird. Blocks and blocks. Until the end of your next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's Plaza of Heroes. The question is, do we want to leave up Plaza of Heroes? Red, green. Red, green. 1? Yeah, let's leave up Plaza. Let's just Hugs X1. Yeah, let's just play the Forge and pass. I think Nis is probably going to find a Lumra, right? And opponent scoops it up. And no Annie Joins Up, but our janky pile of legends comes through against Mono Black. I mean, the Get Lost seem fine. Bring in the Get Lost. I mean, like, go down 1 Biza, maybe. Lightning Helix. Do we want Invasion of Gobakons? That's the other question. I don't think we want Lockdowns. Luca could be okay. It does work really well with Lumra. It has, like, a weird Wrath. You know what? Let's try Luca. Let's try it like, well, yeah, let's try it like that. Opponent did black stuff, but in the end, we were able to overcome the removal in the discard just by playing a bunch of big legends. Imagine if we had Annie Joins Up to go with it. That sounds okay. Still no Annie Joins Up, but land, go. We got Jar into Mura. Opponent Swamp and Bat. Well, there goes our Get Lost. Who takes a Jar? Interesting. That was unexpected. I assume they would 100% take the Get Lost, but we're going to take the beats here. If they play Preacher of the Schism, we probably need to kill that instead of the Bat. Insatiable Avarice. Well, in that case, we will just kill the Bat. So opponent's going to draw some cards. We get our Bat back for now. Another Get Lost. Well, play the land. I think we just run out Mira. If it lives, it's pretty sweet. Because then we can play Roxanne, but... Hostile Investigator. Let's discard a Mountain. Would still really love an Annie Joins Up. Hey! Okay. So we get to make a mana. This is very, very good. So we get to make a mana. Annie Joins Up. Gain some life. Snipe the Investigator. Play the land. Get in Hitcha. Okay, now we got the Panharmonicon down. Now all of our cards become super good. Opponent, Ecclesats. So we get to add double mana. Green and red. Oh, do we just Roxanne? Yeah, I think we just double Roxanne. So Roxanne gains 6. Trigger. We can actually kill the Ecclesats with the Roxanne, thanks to the Annie Joins Up. Who's the Bat God now? Get in Hitcha with a Raccoon. Down to 14. Opponent needs maybe a Wrath. Virtue on Roxanne. Seize. Stay away from the bone. All right, let's discard the Hajar. Actually, no. Let's discard the Get Lost. I think Mira is about to pop off. Opponent finds an insatiable avarice. You're gonna mill it. So we get to add green, Lumra, gain 6, double trigger, mill 4, get back to lands, mill 4, whiff on lands, play a forest, play Hajar, double trigger, Biza Helix, Lumra Dragonhawk. Okay, those were some hits. We will pass the turn. Nothing in hand to discard. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Wow, they're just gonna play the Virtue? Okay, sure. Opponent's gonna try to set up for the long game, but I don't know if this game's gonna go that long. Opponent. Hostile Investigator finds a bat. This Mira's popping off. This is the best I've ever seen Mira be, I think. Opponent passes. We draw a Fabled Passage. So double up the mana. Red, green. Play the Fabled. Well, yeah, let's play the Fabled Passage. Biza. And opponent, scoops it up. I think we're just going to be able to combo kill there, right? I'm pretty sure, because what we could have done, what we were setting up there, we can... So we play the Biza. So now we have 2 creatures with power 4 or greater. Then we can play the Dragonhawker. Dragonhawker is going to exile, 6 cards? So that's 12 damage. But we could... Oh, man, we're close. So that's 12. Plus we Lightning Helix for 3, plus we attack. Yeah, we definitely had lethal there. Double Dragonhawk. Kind of ridiculous, and that went pretty well. That game, we got to see the power of Mira. That was a Mira game, and just like the incidental life game, we're at 31. All of a sudden, it's drawing us 4 cards a turn on our 3-drop. Yeah, that was a good one. This is fine. I mean, not a fast hand, but we have Biza, so as long as we don't literally die, falling behind isn't the worst. Yeah, settle down. Settle down there, Reaper. Oh, no, come on now. All right, well, now we might literally die. That is a possibility. Do we live to Biza being on the draw here? Heartfire Hero's like, oh boy, okay. No shenanigans? No pumping? Opponent. Monstrous Rage. Sure, down to 15. Oh, but no land? Well, in that case, I think we just kill it and take our beats. We dropped to 11, but our opponent missed their land drop. They might have been pretty all in on that Heartfire Hero. This is a big turn. If nothing crazy happened, ooh, there's a land. All right, opponent. Another Heartfire Hero, sure. And wow, gets to trigger it with a map. We're giving our opponents a Manifold Mouse. Yikes. Well, play the land. Hajar. Because I think, wow, we actually still might be dead. So opponent gets the Manifold Mouse. They can play it, they can trigger the Heartfire Hero. So we're going to have to chump with the Hajar. I think what we do here is I think we actually... Oh, we still might die. So we have to chump. Play the land. Oh... We can play Biza. We can play Biza. We can also Annie Joins Up, kill the Heartfire Hero. So we would drop to 6 because we take 4 from the hero, 1 from the pain land. And then we could double Biza the next turn. But do we live? Like a pump spell on the Manifold Mouse would get us. Yeah, I think we just have to play Biza. Play Biza, make some dorks, gain some life. Hopefully chump through this Heartfire Hero for the time being. Oh, about it. Gonna trigger, try to hit a land. Dreadmaw's Ire. Hang on, more pump spells. Mills it. Oh, this Heartfire Hero is getting too big. It's getting too big for the Annie Joins Up. The map tokens are actually kind of wrecking us, Bona. I mean, if they have another Monstrous Rage, we die. Bona goes attacking. Well, come on, fish. Save us. I mean, I guess we can Annie Joins Up. We can Annie Joins Up the Manifold Mouse. That's probably our best bet. We can't kill the Heartfire Hero anymore, but at least we can get rid of the Double Strike. So get rid of the Manifold Mouse. Heartfire Hero, still very scary, but not as scary without Double Strike or Trample. Still, with Monstrous Rages, oh, come on now, opponent. Another Manifold Mouse. They just keep coming. Triggers on the Heartfire hero. Top card. Oh, wait. Not exploring. Well, I mean, fish. Get in there. Oh, they went trample? I see. Well, Biza would be good. No. All right. Yeah. Well, we said that, right? We had the removal spell into Biza, but when mice have the draw on the play, it's pretty fast. So bring in the Bizas. I guess bring in the Get Lost. Go down a couple of Lumras. Go down the Roxanne. Go down a Hugs. We just got to be as efficient as possible. I think that's the game plan now. One Nissa and maybe we don't want Annie Joins Up in this matchup. They're just so fast. Like, I don't even know if we have time to get it down. The good news is we are on the play, which should make things at least slightly easier. Although, still a very scary matchup. No removal. I think we got a mulligan. We gotta have some removal to have a shot here. All right, this will keep. Maybe we put Hugs to the bottom. Yeah, let's put Hugs to the bottom. Well, Fabled Passage go. So we got a Lightning Helix, which is good. That means we can answer the first door. Well, crack this, get him out. And do we kill the Scamp? That's gonna be the question. Another Dragonhawk. Yeah, I think we just gotta kill it. Kill the Scamp, pass the turn. Drop down to 20. Gain 3, lose 2. We really need one of our 3 drops that we sideboarded out would be nice. Like a Mirror or something. Bonnet, Mirrex. I don't know about Mirrex in their deck. That is ambitious Mirrexing. Bonnet has even more Scamps. Passes. Well, play it for us. Play a Ruby Roo. If it lives, we can get down a Dragonhawk, which is something at least. Still, we could just get combo killed at any time. That is what makes this Fling deck so incredibly scary. Like, we're at 22. Opponent's gonna Scorching shot the Ruby. Well, okay. So I guess a land is okay. Non-lands that we can cast are okay. Well, all right, Razorverge Thicket, go. I mean, next turn we can play the Dragonhawk. We'll see if that's even enough. Opponent Fabled Passage. Yeah, cracks it. Make a Mirrex token. That would be the best case. Opponent Monastery. What a weird deck. Monastery Swiftspear. Opponent combat attacks. Hits us down to 19. Well, Plaza of Heroes. Dragonhawk. It's so weird when you see these decks. Like, last game they looked like a mouse deck. And they had the straight up, like, all the mice, double strike stuff. This game, no mice in sight. Oh, Mira, we actually would have really liked you in previous turns. Well, we get Digit for 2. Yeah, Mira would have been really nice. The life gain would be helpful. Bonnet, Fabled Passage. I mean, opponent might be flooding out. Maybe we're alive-ish. Grabs a Mountain. If they attack with a Scamp, I think we have to block it. Attacks with both. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to do it. Block the Scamp. Felonious Rage, gonna pump it, and Felonious Rage, gonna pump it. All right, well, we take some damage. We lose a Dragonhawk, but thankfully we have another one in hand anyway. So we drop to 11. Opponent gets a bunch of detectives. Well, let's Dragonhawk. Play the Brushland. Pass the turn. Hold, no pump spells. Chill with the pump spells, opponent. The detective's off the Felonious Rage, very annoying. Opponent attacks with everything. Well, we will block a Scamp. Opponent drew what? Another Felonious Rage. We drop to 5. Opponent manages to kill the Dragonhawk again. I think we're dead unless we top deck. Annie Joins Up. Is that even enough? I don't think so. A little bit late. Annie joined. They made so many detectives. What a... like, what were we supposed to do about this? What could we have, even in theory, done differently? What could we have, in theory, done differently in this game? We mulligan for removal. I mean, we didn't hit any, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just... magic. Opponent. Okay, so the Crimson Pulse triggers, and I believe that's lethal, right? We block there, take 5, sure. Yeah, well, mono red doing its thing. Seeing what wild things we can do with the legendary Harmonicon. We'll keep this. Oh, how greedy are we? Kind of greedy. You know what? Let's Inspiring Vantage. We'll see. I would prefer to hold on to this Fabled Passage until we get down those Spinoza, but... All right, looks like that's going to be a possibility. Land, go. Ooh, opponent's the land combo deck. All right, that is a little frightening. Opponent swamp. Caustic Bronco. Oh, maybe they're not. Okay, well, we're going to kill the Bronco. Come on, 3-drop. Carpulsin Forest. The question is, do we play the Nissa? I think we do. Yeah, let's do it. Play the Nissa. If it lives, life is great. If it dies, life is still okay. Not as great, but Honest Rustin. Oh, is this a Roots deck? All right, well, life is pretty great. We will Fabled Passage, green mana, crack Fabled Passage, trigger Nissa, grab a forest, make a green mana, and Lumra. Come on, let's mill some lands. Oh, come on, magic gods. Okay, we milled 0 lands. All right, well, past the turn, I guess. Lumra, why do you do this to us, Lumra? Why? Why do you just mill all of our Annie Joins Up and none of our lands? Opponent, she old red. And a Mosswood Dread Knight. Another Fabled Passage. Well, crack Fabled Passage. Grab a mountain. And make a red mana. Let's Plaza of Heroes. Make a green mana. Draw even more Nissas. Well, play the Dragonhawk. Exile a couple cards. Oh, so close and yet so far. Well, pass the turn. Hit you for 4. Oh, we lost our Annie Joins Up. 1 to Lumra milling it, 1 to Dragonheart exiling it and not being able to cast it. Pound it, pangs us. And all of our Nissas have just given us more Nissas. Opponent plays a Glisa. Passes. Well, we draw. Another Dragonhawker. Get drained. Well, Fabled Passage. Make a red mana. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a Plains. Make a red mana. Find a Biza. So we play Biza. We don't draw, but we get a bunch of bodies that can jump the Glissa. That seems pretty good. Yeah, let's just Biza this turn. Biza. Gain some life, make some fish. Pass the turn. So next turn we can Dragonhawk and draw quite a few cards. Opponent Tiny Bones. Demolition Field. Well, we will float a mana. Grab a land. I mean, maybe they're holding another removal spell. That is possible. If they have another removal spell to kill a Lumra, that's kind of bad. Opponent's really thinking about what land to get. All right, gets a swamp. We make a mana. All right, just a Caustic Bronco, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Annie Joins Up. We need an Annie Joins Up. Opponent draws a land. Plays a land. Passing. Mira. Well, play Mira. This is pretty good. So we get to play Mira, play Razorbird's Thicket, make a red mana, play Dragonhawker, exile, I assume, all of our Annie Joins Ups, gain some life, Bristly Bill Fabled Passage, Dragonhawker, Ruby Bristly Bill Lightning Helix, no attacks, hit you down to 14. All right, Bristly Bill with a fetch land's not the worst. Found it, cracking the map. Trying to see what's on top. It's just a land. I think they're trying to figure out what they do with this Caustic Bronco. Pings us down to 18. Attacks with a Glissa. Attacks with the Caustic Bronco. Top card. A Preacher of the Schism. We block here, and then we block here. So we lose a fish. We kill the Bronco. Preacher of the Schism. Sure. Ooh, Roxanne too. All right, so add a green. So we got to play Bristly Bill. That's step 1. So play Bristly Bill. Fetch land. Grow the Mira. Make a green mana. Fetch land. Crack it. Less basic. Trigger. Grow the Mira. Red mana. Find another Biza. Well, let's play Roxanne. Gain some life. Snipe the tiny bones. Go to combat. Attack ya. Attack ya. Exile a lot. Ooh, there's all of our Annie Joins Ups. Well, we found him. We found him. Found it. Gonna trade with Illumra. Yup. Wait, do we win if we just do nothing? Oh, I want to do things, though. I mean, I think we still win if we play Annie Joins Up. Let's play Annie Joins Up. Trigger Mira. Expand into a bunch of Miras. An opponent scoops it up, and that went pretty well. There was a big standoff there, but in the end, our janky legends stood up to the Golgari pile. Golgari's like maybe the best deck in Standard too. That was pretty good. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Ooh, what do we want to change? Nissa's, I think, gotten a lot better in Standard. It was good in the combo decks before, but now that we have, Biza's a good card, Lumra's a good card, there's more good things that Nissa can spin into. When before it was Nissa is spinning into more Nissas, spinning into more Nissas, and if you're not comboing, is pretty bad. But now actually, play a fetch land, get a Biza, or get a Lumra is actually kind of strong. Let's get on one Lumra. Now that I preached all of the benefits of Lumra, let's cut one real quick, and yeah, let's cut a Biza too. Oh, what about Luca? This could be a good Luca matchup. Let's bring in a Luca and go down one. All right, go down one Nissa. Go down one Nissa. Let's do it that way. We'll cut the things Nissa can find and one Nissa. I think Luca's another card that maybe got a little better with some of the new cards from Bloomburrow, like Lumra. Lumra's just or even Hugs is big. Just these big creatures, I think, make it a lot more appealing because then it turns into a Gruul Wrath way more than it used to. So opponents just kind of Golgari stuff, I guess. Good Golgari cards. Didn't see Innkeeper's talent or Planeswalkers, so hopefully we don't have to worry about getting combo killed, which is nice. Dragonhawker is a pretty big deal for Annie Joins Up. It's so good. It gives you a pretty sweet finisher. Before with Annie Joins Up, it was kind of all just Adelene's, and Adelene's was fine, but it's rotated and it's kind of boring. So I think it's cool to be able to play a more mid-rangey, almost combo-y mid-rangey version Annie Joins Up. Wow, is our opponent done? Is Mango? Mango, come back, Mango. Come back. We're not done beating you. Oh, actually, we're probably going to get smacked. So I guess don't come back. Is our opponent actually not coming back? Did we actually scare them away? Oh, Mango. 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 What did we learn this week about Annie Joins Up in Standard? And overall, we went 4-4 with the deck, so fine, not super exciting record, but reasonable enough. Most importantly, we really got to see the power of Annie Joins Up in some of the new Bloomburrow cards. Mira was incredibly good. We played that game where our opponent had a Doorkeeper Thrall, and Doorkeeper Thrall, which just shuts down enters the battlefield triggers, is so good against our deck, because kind of our main gimmick is things with ETBs to work with Annie Joins Up, but it turns out that Mira let us win through the Doorkeeper Thrall just by drawing us a ton of cards, gaining us a ton of life, eventually letting us overwhelm our opponent even through the Thrall on the battlefield. So Mira, I think, is super underrated. I think this card should be seeing way more play, and people are just, I don't know, haven't woken up to the power of the raccoon yet. So that card was super impressive. Hugs was good. Dragonhawk, oh my goodness, is so incredible with this deck. We had some games we never got the full 20 damage from its ETB, which honestly is asking a lot, right? We need 5 total creatures with power 4 or greater. If we get to that point, our opponent might already just be dead by us attacking, so it's kind of hard to actually get a full 20 damage out of it. But we certainly had games where we play a Dragonhawk with a Annie Joins Up out, and we have 2 or 3 other big creatures, and end up dealing 10 damage, 12 damage with its ETB trigger, which is absolutely absurd. Biza, we got to see Biza double trigger a couple times against aggro. Nissa popping off. Nissa got so much better with this set too, because in the past, we had some Nissa Aftermath Analyst decks, and the thing is, the only things that you could find with Nissa were going to be other copies of Nissa, or maybe the Aftermath Analyst, but now we have Biza is an elemental, so sometimes Nissa's going to find a Biza. Lumra, also an elemental, so sometimes we find a Lumra. So Nissa's gotten way better as a value card. In the past, it was pretty much a combo piece, right, where you played it to get this very specific card, but now we can just play Nissa and make some land drops and find these just big top-end threats. The only thing I will say that's a little scary about the deck is Lumra can be a bit sketchy. We did have that one game where we Lumra'd with the Annie Joins Up out and almost milled our entire deck and lost to milling out. We did end up winning right to the end with 0 cards in our library, but that is a risk because it mills so many cards. But all around, the deck's super fun. If you like just triggering bunches of things, drawing tons of cards, doing these sneaky raccoon synergies, Annie Joins Up, I don't think it's like a busted deck or anything, but it wins enough and it's super fun to play. So worth checking out in Standard. So that's Annie Joins Up. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.